I guess I'm live now. Hey everyone, this is Ruth from Kendall Reads, and I come today to talk about a few things. One of them is, um, stuck up readers, and another one is I also wanted to talk a little bit about Tuesday Talks, which was done yesterday, but I'm a late person anyways. And then I also wanted to talk about the end of Letters to Books. So, all that is going to be combined in today's live show-ish thing. I wanted to try this time period to see how well it works, but uh, let's just start talking about the first thing. Hello, person who is watching. You can use the live chat on the right-hand side. I don't know if I'll get your Google Plus if you're watching via Google Plus, if that works. So let me know. But yeah, let's get into it. So a couple of days ago, maybe it was a week ago, I was watching a video and someone was talking about, I think they were talking about classic books. And I don't know, for some reason, they were kind of rubbing me the wrong way, like the content that they were like, they were dogging YA so badly. And I don't know. It just made the person sound like a bigot. Like they were so pretentious with their ideal and concept of, this is the right thing to read or this is like completely horrible trash. And I was like, oh, man, you can't do that. I don't know. It just made me feel so. I don't know. I was a little upset because like as the person started talking about, how superior classics were, I was like, is there like a spectrum of like snobbiness that comes with book reading? Because I think in general book readers have a little bit, you know, of that snob factor. And I don't know, I don't know. It's maybe because reading is such a dying thing, like not a lot of people read. And so I don't know, when you find someone that reads, you're like so happy, and because you read, you feel like you have the full in-depth story, so you know more of the story. For example, an easy one to throw out there is Harry Potter. Everyone that I know in the book community, for a general sense, I'm not saying everyone, but like 99% of the people that I know in the book sphere, aka booktube for me in general, and Goodreads, they have read Harry Potter. So naturally, a lot of people know that the book contains more details, like usual, than the movie. And so there is a sense of pretentiousness that goes around when you're talking to someone who has only watched the movie, because you're like, oh, there's so much that you're missing out on. And I don't know, we're so snobby sometimes about it. I don't know, especially like if someone mentions like another hobby and then you mention your hobby, like, oh, what is your hobby? You're like, oh, it's reading. I don't know. We just come off so pretentious sometimes. But it gets worse when you talk about people who are like just reading a certain genre and then they poo poo on everyone who's reading a different genre or maybe a genre that they don't feel is up to snuff with their genre. And so I was watching this video, back to the topic. I was watching this video and the person was just pooping on YA, and it was like this, I don't know, YA readers are very aggressive readers and they're pretentious too in general. This is general vague blanket statements, you guys. So YA people, they're very, attached to their genre. Their genre is the best genre, people who are typical fans of that genre. And then classic, people who are in love with classic books, they tend to be pretentious too and say, their book is the holy grail and their book has, lasted the test of times, blah, 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 all that jazz. And I don't know, those are like the most two polarizing, let me give a frame here. Those are like the two most polarizing, like, genres that clash a lot of the times. And I don't know, they're both good genres. Like I've read YA books that have been amazing, and I've read classic books that have just, it just felt like trash. Like I couldn't put into words how bad for me the classic was. And sometimes it's not the fault of the classic because, people take classics and they use those as their tropes. They use those as how they develop the genre. Like they were the start of the genre. So you're not expecting, a lot. But there have been bad classics that I've read. On the other side of the handbook, There have been bad YA books that I've read, and sometimes it's not the fault of the writer itself. Maybe it's just me, and I'm just tired of some of the tropes that are being used. I don't know. There's just so much going on. But I don't know. What are you guys' opinions? I know there's like three of you or four of you guys watching. What is your opinion on like stuck up book readers? I don't know. It makes me hang my head down a little bit because I don't know. I feel like book readers represent each other in odd facets. And so when one person is just being so hard on a specific genre versus a different genre, it kind of makes everyone just look bad. Like the whole point of any genre is to get people into reading. And so I don't know, when someone just poo poos on a genre just because it's not up to snuff with another genre, it kind of, I don't know, it just makes me feel a little disappointed. It also makes me feel like I'm poorly being represented as a reader in general. Like, don't do that. Stop. And but it also makes me think of the opposite side of this conversation. I read a lot of different genres. I like certain genres more than others. For example, I love fantasy novels like to death. One of my favorite genres right now at this period. Before fantasy novels, it was like urban fantasy. I had like a huge kick for urban fantasy. And then there came a time period where I just felt like everything I was reading at the time was the same. And so I jumped to fantasy novels more hardcore. And with fantasy novels, they're so, I don't know, there's something so cool to them. But I wouldn't poo poo on urban fantasy just because I'm digging, you know, I'm really digging, oh, hey, got books. I'm really digging, fantasy novels right now. And I don't know, let me see. Oh, that's a good point, got books. And I don't know, sometimes I don't wonder if the people who make these videos that are so pretentious sometimes. I wonder if they know what they're doing, like how badly they're making people feel for just reading. It's what they enjoy. Like I was saying, different points and times in my life, I have enjoyed certain genres more than another. But back to the opposite spectrum, I don't want people to feel like they can't disagree or not dislike a genre. Like we all have to be kumbaya. Let's love every genre. My only aspect is don't crap on a genre that you don't like and and make people feel horrible for reading that genre when they're reading this whole pretentious I am a reader, I know the best books to read type thing. It's just completely, I don't know, it's completely BS. And I can't, I don't know, I can't go with it. And so I don't know. I got books opinions on the topic, and I completely agree. They shouldn't make you feel bad for any genre. Like I wouldn't care if you're a 30-year-old person and you enjoy mid-grade books, middle grade books that are action packed. They're all about adventure. I wouldn't care. You love that book. That's what got you into reading. Who am I? Who am I to poop on that? And I'm not gonna poop on the genre because hey, you can tear apart any genre. Okay, there's no genre that is freaking perfect. That's I don't know. So on to the next topic of discussion, which is Tuesday Talks. Tuesday Talk has been started by Janelle at J Rod Reads and the Bookworm Buddies. And I think it's become like an official thing where they have like a whole page devoted to them on Goodreads, like as far as the topic matter. Anyways, this week they were talking about rating and reviewing unfinished books. Like, do you think it's okay to rate and review a book that you haven't finished? And I was thinking, to be honest, like for me, I rate I kind of rate books that I don't finish. And the thing is, I rate it a zero. Like, it gets no stars. That's why I don't even bother to log on to anything to rate it. This is where I'm coming from. Like, if the book is so it's so bad that I couldn't finish it. And I give books a good 15 to 25%, like, because I read on the Kindle, so books get percentage. So if it's a 1,000 page novel, I'm going to page 100 or 125 or something like that if you do the math. So I'm going, I'm giving you the beginning of the book to sway me over. And it doesn't matter how horrible a book is, I will always go to that 15 to 25 marker in between that range before I give up on you. Like, I'm like, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. And for the sake of booktube of late, I've been pushing past that marker to see what the heck the book is about. And every single time, there has not been a book that at the 15 to 25% marker that I thought was horrible, at the end of the book turned around and, like, boom, got me, and I'm like in love with that book. It hasn't happened. So I don't know. That's leaving me to this conclusion that my 15 to 25% golden rule marker period when I read books, that thing is legit, because I'm telling you, the brief and wondrous life of Oscar Wilde. A couple pages in, way before the 15 to 25% marker, I was definitely hitting kinks as far as me enjoying the book, me enjoying the story, me enjoying the characters. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's an award-winning novel. Let me give it a try. So number one is a part of a read along that I was way behind on. So I was like, all right, come on, I can push through this. Number two, it was an award winning book. I was like, all right, it won some awards. Number three, I hear talks that the sister in that story, uh, she's a very likable character. Let me at least get into this third character that I haven't had a chance to meet yet. But your initial gut feeling on a book when you're reading it is usually correct. And sometimes you're forcing yourself to read something that you don't want to read. And it just really deteriorates the whole thing. And I can't rate it. Like, The Brief and Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde, I think I gave it 1 star. If you want the full explanation on the 1 star, you guys go check out the Goodreads. I think after this video is over, I'll post a link to that. Another book was Americana. Now that book got 3 stars, but it wasn't. I don't know. I feel like I might have been able to enjoy it more if I would have paused. But I did finish that book, but I was struggling through. But I don't know. Let me see what other books that I rated poorly, and I knew it was bad, but I went through it anyways. The Knife of Never Letting Go. I was not a fan of that novel either, and I pushed through it, and I was just really unimpressed. Like, no stars. Like, no. If I would have just stopped the book, I would have just been able to tell you the book isn't good. I don't like it. Eh. Hold on, we got some comments coming in on the side. Let me check it out. I'm using this Google Hangout toolbar, which is really good for me to see your guys' comments while I'm on the Google chat. So as it uploads. It has a little bit of a delay, but it allows me to, like, kind of focus on the stream instead of focusing on, like, having to open up different pages and stuff. So, um, hmm. What is your name? Katsama Gitanite Gil? I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. Yes. That's a very good point. She mentions, I was reading the side comments, you guys, and I'm just gonna call you Cats. You have a long name. I'm sorry, but she was saying how much she enjoys classics, and I agree. Classics do get put on a pedestal, and some believe they have just reasons to. One of them being that they have last hundreds of years. Some of them, and they're still held in high regard. They're still widely read, hence they're still being published, and they are the holy grails of reading. But I don't think it gives you the right to shame other genres or shame other things. I don't think any genre has the right to shame any other genre, because, like I was saying, books, there is a flaw in every genre. I wouldn't say every book. There have been books that for me have been perfect, like 5 out of 5 stars for some reason. But yeah, and the Reading Rose, he says it isn't true for all YA, of course, but sometimes it can be. And I think I'm missing the rest of that conversation, which I am because there is a whole list of conversation going on before that. Sorry, you guys. Um, Reading Rose says, I got what you're saying and agree with it. Let's just letting people like what they like, and that's all for sure. With YA. uh, okay, I understand the Reading Road's point. Here's the Reading Roads. He's talking about some YA novels. They write these books about topics they have no freaking idea about, right? And you can't do that, especially in a novel, because there is going to be hundreds and hundreds of people who are going to read it, and someone is going to catch you on your BS, and they're going to point it out. They're going to point it out, and the thing is, people tend to want to be more nice about letting things slide if the author is writing to a certain age group, aka YA. And so if they're if they're writing about a topic that they don't know anything about, I don't think the genre should take the slack for that. I think the author should take the slack for that. Like, you author, you have basically gotten it wrong. You can't do that. Don't do that. And don't think that you're going to get a pass on it just because you're writing in a specific genre. That's where I'm coming from. Like, do not write in YA about, I don't know, boxing. And you know crap about boxing. The writing, when you read it, and the person who knows about boxing, you can tell that the person doesn't know about boxing. They're just writing it and throwing it out because the people, the target audience that the book is, marketed to, probably won't know about the subject matter, so they won't be able to they won't be able to differentiate between your BS and your knowledge of the subject. And so I think that shouldn't be on the genre. I think that should be on the author that is writing towards that genre. That's just my opinion. Um, and the Reading Rose clarifies that by saying it isn't true for all YA novels, of course, which, yeah. But some have. Even children's books, they've done that. And I've even seen adult literature where the author is just writing off his ass, basically. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And I think people are harsher because, depending on which genre the person is writing in, but I don't think any author should just be cut any slack for just writing about things they have no concept about, no idea about. Just don't do it. Don't do it. It's a writing no-no, and I'm not even a writer. Come on. Well, I am a little bit of a writer, but not like that. Like, not an author. Don't do it. Um, Going through the comments again, a little slowly. All right, so there's talk of poems, and we're back to the conversation on the side about rating or reviewing a book. And so that's the thing, though. When I read a book and I don't finish it, I don't know. For me, in a way, I'm rating it. It's just I give it 0 stars out of 5 if I can't finish it. If I think it's too boring, if I think the action's too dull, and so if it has 0 out of 5 ratings, you can't even do that on Goodreads or any rating system. You can't really give it a 0 rating. It means no rating, like you decided not to rate it. But if I haven't finished it because I thought it was bad, in technicality, like, a little bit of a technicality, I am rating it. I'm giving it 0 out of 5. Like, I didn't finish it. You were that bad that you, or at least the beginning. I don't know. I feel like authors have an obligation to give me something within the first 10% of the novel. Something to make me take the leap and venture into the middle of your story. There has to be something. Now, reviewing a novel, I can't review a book that I haven't finished. And so, even though a review is you giving your opinion on a book, right? And so, if someone were to ask me about a book that I didn't finish, I think I still would give my impressions of what I've read up until that point and try to explain why, for me, I couldn't venture through the rest of the book. And I think I always try to be careful with how I voice a book that I didn't finish because I don't want my bad woes with the book to kind of stop someone else from enjoying a book. There have been books that I enjoy that other booktubers have hated, and then there have been books that other people have read and they loved and I hated. And I don't want my opinions to kind of flux with someone else on a book that I didn't even make it to the end of. And so I'm always conscious of that. But if someone were to ask me about a book that I personally did not finish, I say, I didn't finish the book. I didn't like it because X, Y, and Z. But I don't know. It seemed like there was some premise going on about this. Maybe you'll like it. Like the premise of the story is this. And maybe they'll go for it or not. I don't know. I don't. And I'm going to check Twitter. You guys can also tweet me stuff if you want to, if you guys have any replies on things and stuff. But send a reply. And so, anyways, let's get to the last subject matter of today's live show because I don't know, we are probably deep into the broadcast by now. Yeah, we're like 20 some minutes in. So let's talk about letters to books. Letters to Books is a project that I started at the beginning of summer, and it's basically you take footage of different sceneries and you chop it up. You do a voiceover, you chop it up, and you basically write a letter to books. It's just this abstract thing because a lot of us have a lot of great experiences with books. Books have helped us through a lot of things, and it's been an escape for a lot of people and a safety for a lot of people. And so it first started when I kind of got the inspiration to do letters to books by watching something called Letters to July. It's by I think it's called Emily or Ruth. I'm phasing on her name right now. I'm sorry, but if you type in Letters to July, you will find it. And before that, I actually had on my Facebook Letters to Love, which is what I used to write, and I still write to this date. And one of my friends, who's also a poet, she also helps, and she does her own letters. And so then I saw Letters to July, and I was like, you know what? And I had a YouTube channel. I had a BookTube channel, and I thought, you know what? Wouldn't it be great if this concept, my letters to love, but instead there'll be letters to books, and then I can make them into actual videos. And that's how Letters to Books got born. And so, anyways, it started during the summer. I wrote my first letter, and I shot some footage, and I pieced it together. And it was well received. You guys loved it. I love it. It's like one of my special projects because everyone has a memory with books. And I thought I would just start out with my first memory of books. Like just sitting there and remembering how it felt sometimes to feel, I don't know, to almost be mad at books in a sense because the world that they portrayed wasn't the world that I lived in. And but it was still an escape. And not too long ago, there was a huge campaign talking about diversity in books. And I was born in 19, maybe I should not be, all right, I'm not going to say the year I was born on the internet. That's probably not smart. But let's go with when I was in elementary school. There was really no books that had, you know, characters of color in them. I don't remember a character of color during that time frame. And my childhood memories goes back to when I was in a crib. So my memory is pretty good as far as remembering um, kindergarten and all those good stuff. And I don't remember seeing like a character like me. So and that also kind of fed into that first letters to book, even though it's kind of like a subtle hint to me not being able to find a book that kind of portrayed me as a person or my surroundings or where I grew up. And so that was the first letters to books. And then the second letter is just I don't know, just the concept of um, not being as strong as others probably perceive me. A lot of that is how I grew up, and I don't know. Sometimes it just feels like this facade, like you have to be strong all the time, and I am not that strong of a person all the time. Though I feel like I have to be. Like I feel like there is this thing that I have to be strong all the time. That I have to take the brunt of things, and I have to lead. That I can't take a moment off, and that was the feeling and all. I'm trying to get that out in the second book, the second letters to books when I did that novel, and hopefully that came across. And a lot of people were like, you know, they understand that feeling of having to put up this strength and to be strong all the time, and even in your quiet moments, sometimes you kind of feel like you have to hold up, and that is definitely not the case with me all the time. But I always feel this ever presence to be strong, which kind of sucks, to be honest, because I'm a fragile soul sometimes, and sometimes I feel like I can't be all the parts of me that I need to be, because if I don't, just crap is going to fall apart, basically. And so that was the gist of the second letter. And I think the third letter was just talking about how books is an escape. It, you know, helps you get away from things. And sometimes there are times when I read books and I don't want that fictional world to come to an end. And I'm notorious. I love trilogies and I love epic long books. I really do. But I am notorious for when the end of the book starts rolling around, I will I slow down dramatically as far as reading. Like before, I'll read 200, 300 pages a day. I get to around the last 100 pages, and it'll take me a week, maybe 2 weeks to finish it, because I just take little baby steps. Baby steps. I try to drag that story out as long as I can, because I know that that's the end. Like, there's not going to be another adventure in the tale unless the author decides to write some novella, and that's if I'm lucky. Most times, you don't really, get that, you know, that novella, that little extra piece or that extra story. Um, and so it's a little sad. I don't know. As a reader, it's happy and sad, because I hate when a novel goes on too long and they destroy my character, because the author has no more stories to really tell for that character. You know what I mean? And then the author just keeps dragging that character on. And there's so many books like that. Like, what's that book with that? She's like a vampire hunter, and then she ends up sleeping with the vampires too. You guys, that book. But in the beginning, the book had so much promise, but she just keeps dragging that character along. And for as a reader, I'm like, come on, give the character a gracious death. Let the character die or fade off into happiness in a in a good way, on a good adventure. So there's this, to and fro moment, but there is this definite sadness that I get when I know the novel's coming to an end. And so, yeah, in that third letter, I was trying to express that. And then we have the community letters that came out, which those were, they were so good. Some of them were so good. Like, I was watching them before I released them. I think, oh man, I cried on a few, I laughed on a few, but some of them were so, revelatory, like understanding other people's views and perspectives on books and their time with books. And one of them quoted why am I blanking on everybody's names? But she quoted another famous author. I need to go to the videos. Um, about how she's never going to stop reading, and how you feel like books are always there, basically. And it was just so good. Some of those letters. One of them specifically, I'm talking about Brock's video, um, which I think is video 6 in the Letters to Books. In the description box, you guys, there's a link to the playlist of Letters to Books. So I've been talking for I don't know how long, like maybe 5 minutes or so, about Letters to Books. I probably should have mentioned this before I went on this huge long thing. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, when I'm talking about Letters to Books, you can check the link to the playlist that is in the description bar. But anyways, Brock from Let's Read, I think his book, his letter is letter number 6 in the playlist. And he did one where he's like passing on the torch, basically, of reading, and trying to be the facilitator of reading for the next generation, basically his kid. And that, for me, the way he shot it, number one, is like, whoa, what the heck? And he had the whole sword thing. I felt like I was going back to Aragon. It was like, it was good. And so, I don't know, you guys, have you, anyone here who are, one of my viewers here, have you guys seen that the letter that I'm speaking of, letter number 6? I'm going to talk about all the letters, but I want to start off with letter number 6. I don't know, has anyone seen it, but it is amazing. Like, it is truly, truly amazing. Let me clear my throat. And so then, Little Book Owl, she decided to do a letters to book. She decided to help me out. Of all the people, I didn't know that she was going to reply, because I sent the call out for the letters to book edition. I sent the call out a month before I decided to do it, and I sent it out to a lot of people. Believe me, I sent it out to a lot, and I think I got 5 people to reply, which was what I needed, because I wanted to do a week-long edition where I did letters every day. So I got 5. I wanted to push it further than that, like as many people as possible that could send me letters. I wanted to take those letters, and so and watch them. And I guess there was going to be a level of quality control, but I wanted to watch it, see what it was, if it was something that was appropriate, or there could be adult themes to the letters, believe me, but something that wasn't offensive, something like that. There's going to be a level of quality control with the letters, but I wanted to watch it and I wanted to post it. And so these 5 people replied, and I was so excited. Then there was one small Paul, she did one, and like I said, I love her letter, and she actually wrote hers in a notebook. Then you had one book review. She decided to help me out, and she did a letters to books. And she had like these amazing scenes, and she has this one little chair that goes around that I wanted to chill in the whole time. It's like, I need to find me one of those chairs. And it was really great. And then Nancy from Nancy Reads, she decided to let people know about what was going on in her life and about books, and how instrumental it was in her actually making that decision to leave home, and I guess continue grad school. As we can see, she's doing Nancy Reed, by the way, she's doing Vlogtimber. I don't know if that's the name she's sticking with though, but Vlogtimber is basically, she's vlogging every day in September. You guys got to go check her out and check what she's talking about. But yeah, it was really great. And so now summer is over, and so I decided to put a pin in letters to books for a lot of reasons, but many of them were, a lot of booktubers are, still in school, a lot of them. And so in order for this to kind of work, you kind of have to take screenshots, and you need some free time to do this. So I figured summer's coming to an end. A lot of free time that people have is, it's coming to an end. Not a lot of people have a lot of free time during fall. A lot of people are in school. Number 2, I'm starting a new job, you guys, which I'm happy about. But it's a full-time position, and so it wouldn't be a good time for me to do it because before when I was doing my letters, I did a letter every week, except for the time that I was prepping for the community edition of Letters to Books. And so I figured now would not be a good time when I first start my job to be doing letters every week. Um, and number three is for scenery because I love winter, and I know a lot of book readers, we love winter. I love cold mixed with blankets, hot cocoa, and a book. That is like the trifecta of reading. There's only one thing that comes close to that for me personally, and that is rain. It's raining outside. I don't know, it could be thundering, but basically it's raining outside, hot cocoa. The hot cocoa is in every scenario, you guys. Hot cocoa. Uh, a book, you know, those three. And I live in Florida, so I get that a lot. And when it rains, for some reason, I always have this thing where I need to find a book and some hot cocoa and get alone. Like that's, I don't know, that's me. And so I think during the winter we'll be able to get some amazing videos as far as shots and sceneries, like from a cinematic point of view. I was thinking about letters to books and when I would want to do it. Number four on the list of reasons why there's a break is because during wintertime, everyone's back on vacation. Okay, so that means a lot of people will have a lot of free time to shoot footage, and then throughout the winter months, they can kind of chop up the footage to actually do letters to July, letters to books. I don't know why am I thinking about letters to July. I love letters to July, by the way, but that was the reasoning behind it. So it has come to an end for the summer, but it will be back in the winter. And I'm going to send the call out again. I want to do another communities to book. That's why I'm mentioning all this. I want to do another community edition to Letters to Books where people in the community actually shoot these videos. And I want to host them on my channel. I want to do it again. It was so much fun. Watching the videos. So many people enjoyed the videos. If you go through the comments, you'll see people loved it. And it was such a good time, and it was so heartfelt that I don't know. I want to do that again. And someone even mentioned doing a Goodreads edition, um, and I was kind of thinking about doing a bloggers edition. So I don't know what's going to happen this winter, how it's going to break out. I have a lot of initial ideas to kind of expand it and do different things. Um, but yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna check the comments on the side. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about letters to books or anything in general. Because now we're on to the more probably part of the discussion where we just kind of talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. If you have anything that you want to talk about, I'm reading the comments while you know while everything's going on. Let me see. Let me see. Gotta take it back. Mm. All right. Kay mentioned that she feels like if she didn't read the book completely, that she couldn't possibly rate it, and well, that's her perspective. I respect that. I personally, I think, well, there's two things. There's only two reasons why I wouldn't finish a book. Number one, it's really bad, at least for me, from my perspective, it's really bad. Or number two, I'm not in the mood for that particular book. And so even, there could be nothing wrong with the book, you guys. Like the characters, they can be okay. Like I haven't fallen in love with them yet. Because if I fall in love with characters, there's no way in heck I'm not finishing the story. But the characters seem to be okay, and like the construct of the story seems good. Like everything's falling into place. It's just sometimes I'm not in the mood. Like there could be a perfectly good, legit mystery novel or something, and I just want to read a romance novel. So the mystery is not really kicking my bubble, and so there could be nothing wrong with it. Like everything's fitting together fine. You can tell that there's like a freaking awesome mystery. Like you can't even piece it together. And then I stop, and I just stop. So that book got no rating because I didn't finish it. So of course I didn't rate it, but it didn't get the 0 stars like I would give a book that I just thought was horrible. Um, then we have this comment about the Odays to books. Um, Yeah, there's some books that I finished that I think I would give 5 stars. This is Kay again. Thank you so much. I'm just calling you Kay because your name is so long. But she mentioned how some books are so bad that you finish it and you don't even want to give it a 1 star. You don't want to give it a 1 star. Oh man. And then Kay is talking about the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I'm actually reading The Hobbit right now for a read along, aka the traveling book, which is going on. It went from Australia to California. Now the book is here in Florida. I want to finish it by this Saturday because it's going to be paramount that I finish it this weekend because I have new job stuff Monday. So I want to finish it before the weekend starts, but I'm starting The Hobbit. And at first, I can't lie, this is my initial impressions of The Hobbit, you guys. It was on the rocky side, and I think a huge amount of that is due to I watched the first Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit movie, the first, part one. I don't know why they needed to break a 300-page book up into two movies, but probably because they added so much extra stuff. And I don't know, there was like a little bit of a disconnect, maybe because I seen the movie and I was like, while I was reading it unconsciously, I was like comparing it to the movie the whole time. But now I'm finally in the second half of the book, which is the second movie, which I did not get to see, so I have nothing to like reflect the book off of. I can just read the book for the book, and I've been enjoying it so far. So we will see. Uh, but I understand your whole perspective. I get completely sad and whacked out when I read a book that is, about to come to an end. Like I'm reading a trilogy that I love everyone, and the story is going to be over. Like there's no more story. Um, that's a killer. Oh man, yeah, you are killing the response. She talks about the cold weather, rain, reading. Yeah, I completely agree with that. The hot cocoa, that's great. I have a famous drink at Starbucks. I'm about to share with you guys the holy grail of Starbucks. This drink is so good that it's not on the Starbucks menu. It's not on the Starbucks menu anywhere, but you can order it. And the only people who know about this drink are people who have been employed by Starbucks. So I'm letting you in on some good stuff right here. Thank you, Isira, for congratulating me on the new job. So I'm going to let you in on some secret goodness right here. Now, it is called the Upside Down Marble Macchiato. Order it just like that. And if they ask you, if they look all confused, like what should we charge you, say, charge me like it's a white mocha. I never worked at Starbucks, but I had a friend who worked there, and he introduced me to this drink that is so good, but it's so good they took it off the menu. So only a few people know about this drink. And now, my beautiful subscribers, you guys know about the only drink that I order at Starbucks. It is amazing. Upside down marble macchiato. Get that. Winning. In fact, you guys, after this broadcast, we should all just go to Starbucks and get it. But it's very hot chocolate-like, but, you get the caffeine boost in there, and it's just, so good. Just thinking about that drink, yeah, it's me crazy. I have a Kindle. I was going back to the comments. Kay was talking about, she's afraid to spill a drink while she's reading her book, and I am afraid. Like if I have a physical book and I'm drinking, I usually have this moment where like I stiff arm the book. So I put the book over here, and then I drink my drink, and I'm still reading. So you have that. All readers, we have this hand grip thing that we do with the book, so the book is still open. So we're reading. So this is how I read, and then I drink, and then I bring the book up, and then I put the cup, even though there's no way the contents in the cup can like leap off the floor, but like I place the cup like far away from me, like I have long arms, so I make sure I put it to like the extent of my arm. So even if some crazy, I don't know, voodoo, I don't know, craziness happens and the cup decides to like fly, there's no way it can reach me. That's I don't know. So I kind of circumvent that my fear of drinking. But I have a Kindle, hence the channel name. So I really don't. I drink, eat, and everything with the Kindle. It just makes my life, you know, makes my life perfect. Kay's talking about the Hobbit movie right now. Yeah, we're talking about the Hobbit a little bit. Hopefully, movie one. There were a lot of things, in retrospect, while I'm reading the first book, like the first half, that were there was nowhere in the book. I was like, did the movie just decide to go off on some crazy? I don't know. They felt like the story was too boring, so they decided to add extra stuff like that. Who was the golem that the dwarves? There's like in the first movie, there's like golems that are all up in that first movie. And in the book, they're there, but they're not as prevalent in as the movie was making it out. Like the movie like dramatized everything, and I feel like the good action scenes that were in the book, especially with Bilbo Baggins, and when he was like, I don't want to ruin the book for people who might read it, but there's a portion when he's in the goblins' underground cave thing, and there was like this, I don't know, I felt like the book had the perfect scene that was very cinematic that they could have put in the movie exactly as it was in the book, and yet they did not. Even though I did feel like there was a little bit too much rhymes and riddles going on in that book. Like, I'm happy the movie cut it down to like 2 or 3 because the doggone book had like 7 to 8. I was like, all right, I get it. It's a riddle contest. Contest. You guys can stop. But I don't know. I definitely feel like right now, this is just initial impressions. Maybe I have to go back and watch movie one. I just felt like movie one was just out there compared to the book. I feel like the book's a little bit more reined in a good way. In a good way. Especially for its intended audience. I feel like it's reeled in a good way. But that is it, you guys. Unless you guys want to talk about video games or something, because I was thinking about Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Borderlands, one of my favorite games. I've literally played Borderlands 2 9 full times, twice to get all the characters to level 50, or like 2 of the 5 characters that I personally have to level 50. And I don't know, I'm not too excited about the pre-sequel. It feels like the same thing. It feels like an Android update. Like it's like Borderlands 2.1. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not too thrilled about it. Number 2 about games. I'm gonna bring this up right quick. Who else is upset that publishing companies, they just release unfinished products? And I'm trying to think. Take that to books. Okay, I'm gonna relate this to books. I got to, because we're on a book channel. So imagine if someone came out with a book that wasn't finished yet, and it got published, and it got printed, and there's like millions, not even hundred, there's millions of copies out there. Would you feel okay? Hi, Keisha. What's up? Would you feel okay with, as a reader, like, would you accept that? Like, would you be like, yeah, it's okay, they're going to release a patch, and a patch is basically, in a couple months, they're going to release the other half of the book. So you pay up front the full price of the book, most books $9.99, and you didn't get the full book. And then later the publishing person's like, okay, I'm going to send you the rest of the book now. And I kind of feel like that's what's going on in the gaming community. Like, these guys are getting away with everything. Like, they send out games that crash on you every minute. Certain game modes do not work. I was like, we should be able to sue these people. Like, really? Oh, the white goblin? I'm talking about in the movie, he was like a white-ish goblin, I think. I could be wrong. I got to go to the book and tell you with the name of the goblin. I think it was the goblin. The one, Thurvain's great-great-grandfather, the one that he fought, it's like mentioned like in one line in the Hobbit book. And yet in the movie, that dude is throughout the whole freaking movie chasing the hobbits down in book one, in the first part one of the movie. He's chasing them down the whole time. I don't even know what the guy's name is. But yeah, I can't believe that like publishing companies are getting away with that. We need to sue the crap out of them. Do not sell me. And games are expensive as hell right now. They're like $60, you guys. PC, it's a little bit cheaper, you PC people. I think you guys 49, 50. I think they actually raised the price of PC. PC used to be able to get it for 39, and now it's like 40, $50. So I don't know. I don't think it would fly. Like I don't think their model would fly in any other genre. Like what if I bought a sofa and the sofa was defected, or they didn't include the middle cushion, and they said, "Hold up, we're gonna send you the middle cushion in 2-3 months." Ugh, I don't understand that. Day one patches. I don't know. I can go on a full on mini tangent or tangent on games and how they're another thing, this is like topic number 3. How in the heck do these gaming companies, like we watch E3, us gaming folk people, we watch E3, or non-gaming people, we watch the trailers and they give us this beautiful cinematic thing, and then when you load it onto your system, your console of choice, it is not rendered in the same quality as you saw for like 9 months as you're tracking this game along its progress line. Like all those people. I'm going to talk about a game called Destiny, which is very popular right now. It's, I don't know, apparently it's supposed to be the next big thing because these people created Halo. I feel like if this Destiny game comes out and the quality as far as like how it looks, it doesn't look as it was perceived. Like it still looks okay, but it wasn't as good as it was showcased. I think the gaming community is just gonna accept it. They're gonna be like, oh, it's okay. Maybe we don't have the best TVs in our house. No, it's not the TV. It's the company. I don't know. It's this huge thing, but you guys, we're coming towards the end. That was like my mini rant. How I'm a little disappointed in, or I'm not excited about Borderlands, the pre-sequel. If anybody knows what that game is. Uh, for a lot of reasons. One of them is I feel like it's a minor increase from Borderlands 2. Number 2, I feel like the characters suck. Like literally, I played Borderlands 2 9 times, so I have a strong hatred for Wilhelm and all these other characters that they're making you play as in the second iteration. And I don't know. I feel underwhelmed by this second version. I feel like it's a money grab, to be honest. I'm not sure. You guys let me know. Maybe the story. I don't know. But yeah, we're coming towards the end. I don't know if anybody else has anything to say. I want to thank everyone who's watching. By the way, who took the time out to check out the live stream. Right after this is over, it auto uploads to the channel, so it'll be there for you guys to check out at any time. Someone please tell me the name of that creature that was chasing around Bilbo Baggins and the rest of the crew in the Hobbit Part 1, because he's literally mentioned one time in the book. Like, I'm on page 100 and something. The guy's name has not popped up since. But that first movie, that guy was all up in it. The evil character that's chasing him all around. That doesn't make any sense. Can someone explain? People who know the Lord of the Rings lore, tell me about it. Oh, someone's excited for Doom. Back in high school and to some extent middle school, I used to play the crap out of Doom on my PC. We were supposed to be doing projects. It didn't matter. That was one of the only games that you could get through the server. It was awesome because the school had like a lot of blocks that would block you from doing things, but somehow you could still play Doom. And so I remember playing Doom back in high school. It was really archaic back then, like most PC games were back in 1990 something. Um, but it was really fun, and so I'm excited for Doom 2. I wonder what it's gonna be now that it's like 21st century. What will become of Doom? I don't know. There's a lot of things that I'm excited about. the Batman, was it Arkham Knight is about to come out. I'm really excited about that. Oh, I was gonna ask you guys this. I almost forgot. Thank you for bringing up that Doom question. How do you guys feel about walkthroughs? Because I was watching some video and it asks the end question like, as a gamer, do you feel like I don't know. I'm a hardcore gamer. I'm a hardcore reader and I'm a hardcore gamer. And I cannot do a walkthrough. Like I use I I taunt myself with this walkthrough chant that I do. So if I'm playing a game and it's really difficult and I can't figure it out, I tell myself, man, if I can't get this in the next hour, I'm going to go to the walkthrough. I'm only saying I'm going to go check out the walkthrough for the game to push myself to beat it. It's really bad because I don't know. For me, I can't do it. I feel like I'm cheating if I go to the walkthrough to beat a game. And so it got so bad. The other day I downloaded Children of the Light. It's really amazing. It's the demo's out on the PlayStation 3. You guys should go check it out. And if you like it, download it. I was playing Children of the Light demo, and the demo gives you two modes. It says casual, as far as difficulty, and then expert. So casual, it says for gamers who want to enjoy the story. I am a person that's all about the stories. I love RPGs. But then underneath that, it says expert, people who want more of a challenge. And you know what? I hovered over the casual for like 3 seconds. But the whole connotation with the term casual, I'm like, I'm not no casual gamer. I go to expert. I get my ass whooped in that game. That game is hard on expert. But I would not change the difficulty level because I'm like, I'm not a casual gamer. I don't need casualty. I don't need easy mode, And so this makes me think of maybe it is the Goblin King. So this makes me think, do other people feel that way? Like if they had options between, like when there's an option between easy, normal, and hardcore, I'm okay with clicking normal. But don't tell me to click casual or hardcore. I'm gonna pick hardcore even if the game kicks my butt through the whole thing. And I will not check out a walkthrough. I say it off, I flip it out there just to push myself to not feel like a loser and use the walkthrough. Let me see. I'm checking out the comments right now. A couple of things are coming through right now. Is it the Goblin King? I think maybe it is the Goblin King. No. I could have sworn it was like this white ashy dude who was chasing the hobbits around. I don't know. It's been a while since I seen that first movie. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a white goblin that kept chasing them, but I don't know who this white goblin is. He's mentioned once, and then Keisha says, "Oh, she said she does." Keisha says she doesn't pay much attention to game release, but she's really excited for this Yoshi Woolly World. Seems like it's gonna be good. Um, uh, this brings up the conversation of the Nintendo, I guess. How many people actually have the Wii U or the Wii Unit? I don't know. We had a Wii here, and to be honest, the graphics of the Wii had me a little disappointed. The release of any Wii content has me. I'm a hardcore lover of Nintendo, but maybe more the handheld console, like the Game Boy, than the actual system. I love my Pokemon. In fact, I don't want to upgrade to this new Nintendo 3DS that just came out. I don't want to do it. But I do love my Pokemon, so every, couple of years I go and play it just to beat it. I got to catch them all. I love Mario Kart. Man, Mario World is always fun, So there's something about the power-up boots, but I don't know. I don't know if there's enough for me to spend that much money on a Wii console. But lately, they do seem like they're coming out with some new stuff. Keisha says she feels like she needs to take a break for some games. Now, I call you Kay. So Kay's like she chooses normal or easy if she doesn't know what the game is. I don't care what the game is. It got to be normal to hardcore. Sometimes I just go with hardcore because I'm like, bitch, I'm hardcore, man. I'm not gonna let this game beat me, and I'm gonna beat it on the toughest difficulty. In fact, this is a good illustration of what happened. I was playing. I just this weekend. I just finished beating Batman Arkham City, all because I know that there's this new Batman game coming out, and I don't want to purchase a new Batman game if I didn't beat the previous. I have this. It's not OCD level. Believe me, I will drop a game in a quick minute if it's not intriguing me. But I have this thing where if I'm buying a sequel or of something, I need to beat the first thing. So I knew this new Batman game's coming out. So I said, you know what? I'm only 52% through this Batman Arkham City, and I really want to buy this new one. So let me beat it. I got stuck so many times, but I would not go through that walkthrough. I will not go check out the walkthrough. I've been so close. I even typed it into my Google search on my phone. I was so close. I even hit enter and there's like the results of the search, but I couldn't go through. It's like I'm cheating the game. And the thing is, I played the game at a harder difficulty level because my smart self, I did not know that you can get a map within the game. There's if you hit start, you can go to a map. I didn't know that the map worked inside buildings because when you're inside buildings in that game, you lose your like tracker that you have. So when you're in the game, it's just you get the full screen. But when you're outside in the world, you have like this little bar that shows you like northwest, south, all that. It gives you the whole thing up top, and it tells you where the objectives are. So when I got into the buildings and that was gone, and I hit, and I think one time I did go to the map, but the map was on the outside, like it was showing like the world. It wasn't showing inside the building. And you had to hit box just to get to the inside. I didn't even take the time to look at the bottom key points that were trying to tell me you hit box to get the inside view. So I was playing that game on super hardcore mode, basically. I was playing through all the stuff on, like, I didn't have a map. I didn't know where I was going. I had to track through everything and remember where everything was. In this Batman game, Batman's like on one side of that building, and he got to track his behind on the other side. And so I'm playing a game with no map and accidentally ending up back where I started. And I was like, oh, how? And I was so upset. I was like, how did you give me no map with this game? But I wouldn't check out the user's guide. And if I would have checked out the walkthrough, surprisingly, there probably would have been someone who mentioned the map thing. So yeah, let's go back to the comments, you guys. Some of you guys are talking about the game modes. I don't know. For me, I don't get frustrated. I think it's like really challenging, the hardcore mode, and sometimes I get mad, but it's not mad to the. It's like mad at me, and I need to do it again to figure out what it is. I don't know. For me, I don't know. The hardcore mode for me is like, yeah, that's the mode. Normal to hardcore. I tend to go with normal because I feel like normal is like the good medium ground, and if I ever want to play it again, at least I have I can play it at a harder level because I know everything that's going through. Who has played The Last of Us? It's a PS3 exclusive, but that game was amazing. I played that thing on normal the first time, but at the end of the game, they give you an option to play it again. You get to keep all your weapons, but the game, as you progress through it, you'll never get to a point in the game when you do it through the first playthrough that you can upgrade your weapons to the full maximum capability of the weapon. Like you can't upgrade all the fast reload and all that good stuff. And so there's definitely a reason to go back and play the game because you wanted to play the game and have all your guns like maxed out and they're like super badass. And the game was really good. So that gave me an opportunity for me to play it again. But when I play it again, at least I play it on hard because I know what's going to like happen. And so I don't know. Someone says they view easy mode to get them in shape to play the game at more difficult levels, and I think that's how I kind of perceive normal. I perceive normal as if the game when I finish it, if the game is that good, and it has some type of thing to kind of push me towards a replay, like to replay it. then I'm glad I picked normal because then when I replay it, I want to replay it on hard. Like I'm never gonna go through a game at the same like twice with the same difficulty level. So I'm always gonna bump it up one. So yeah. uh, so yeah. What do you guys want to play so much? What game is that? What game was I just talking about? Arkham City, probably. But yeah. Oh no, no, I was talking about The Last of Us. I'm sorry, The Last of Us. So yeah, you guys really should pick up The Last of Us. I plan when I upgrade my consoles. I'm still on the PS3, but when I get the PS4, probably by Christmas, I'll probably get the remastered version because the game is dope. And when I replay it again on the remastered version, I'm going straight to hardcore because I already beat the game on normal. Like I already know what's gonna happen. So the game consoles I have in my house, I have the PS3. I have a Super Nintendo here. I have a DS here. We have a 3DS here. We also have a 2DS here at the house. Um, I think that's about it. We used to have a PSP, but we had two PSPs and they both broke. I have niece and nephews here at the house, so they usually take control of the handheld gaming consoles, and they do not fare too well in their hands for too long. So yeah, we played through about everything, and hopefully by this summer, or I'm sorry, by Christmas, I'll have the PlayStation 4 and I can play The Last of Us. Yeah, I spazzed out for a minute on what game I was talking about. I'm reading the. I'm also glancing over at the live feed. I spazzed out on what game I was talking about, but yeah, The Last of Us. You need that is truly a 10 out of 10 game in my opinion. I don't know. It really is amazing. Like in the beginning, you're confused on what the heck's going on because it doesn't seem to be the game that was portrayed on the trailers. But just stick with it until you get to that trailer s moment in the game, and believe me, this game is the truth. Like I was a doubter because in the beginning I was confused. I was like, there's no Ellie and whatever, and then it began to happen, and the magic happened. The story was amazing. The gameplay amazing. The gameplay made the story even better because it was just you're like intense. You're like in it. You're like no, no, and the freaking clickers will come, which is zombie s things. It's just amazing. I prefer playing on PlayStation. Oh man, I have not played a shooter game on PC. I have a real issue with hotkeys. Which what are the hotkeys? I think the hotkeys are like QW and all that stuff. I really have an issue with hotkeys. So I play everything off the PlayStation. I had all the PlayStations. I don't know if that necessarily makes me a fanboy, but the thing that happened is we had an option between a PlayStation 1 back in the day and then an Xbox back, and the Xbox controller was so big. Like I'm 5'11", you guys, so my hand size is pretty big, right? I could not control that Xbox controller when it first came out. It was so huge. It was so weird. Like, and they had the. I don't know if that. I think they had the analogs, and like one was. I still don't understand that analog system. They had the little dual stop up here, and it was so big. Like you couldn't get to it, and then it was stupid. And so basically, it was stupid. But the PlayStation controller, it was like, oh, it felt heavenly in your hands, and I loved it. And so that became my gaming console. And since then, it's been PlayStation all the way because you kind of get roped into the exclusives, and so you don't want to switch to a different console and miss out on like games that you have been following through. Like Solid Snake. I played through all the Metal Gears except for that trashy Metal Gear that came out like last year and the year before that. When they tried to get Raiden his own game, that was trash. I haven't played those, but like the Solid Snake versions where Snake is actually in the game and he goes through missions and stuff, I played through all of them. And now finally, Metal Gear has been released on all consoles, so it's a moot point at this point. But at the time, as I'm going through the consoles, like you don't want to really switch and lose out on like an exclusive because the next game's coming out. And I think that's how the gaming culture kind of works. Like whatever console you get, it's going to be hard to leave that console. The most obvious choice is for you to get both consoles, so that way you can keep playing the games that you love playing, and then you can still play the other stuff. Yeah, I love handheld games, you guys. I really do. Um, I had Batman Arkham Asylum too. I didn't beat that game, but for some reason I bought the sequel, and that's why I felt bad when I had the sequel because I didn't beat the first game because I have this internal rule that I need to beat the first game before I move on. But that one I did kind of skip because I think I don't know, maybe I think I lost Arkham Asylum, and so I kind of gave myself an excuse. And I haven't played that Batman game that I just beat this weekend. I haven't played it in like literally 3 months. And I came into the game and I forgot all the controls. But thank God, somehow I made it through and it's over. But I'm happy. It was a good ending, good story, and I definitely think you should pick up Arkham City. It has a better combat system than the first one, and it does some really cool stuff. And the end story is really good. Like it really good. So I don't know. But we went on a whole video game tangent um, after this video. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know. But it was fun. It was really fun. It's good to know that you guys are gamers too, along with book readers. Handheld. What is your favorite? After this video is over, I still go back and check the comments, you guys. But what is your favorite handheld console? What has gotten you guys into gaming? I know for me it was the Nintendo. Like I don't know who wasn't the Nintendo. It's really hard because Nintendo goes back some ways. Like I used to have the Game Boy Color. It used to be so cool when the Nintendo sign used to flash across and the colors would change. Uh, I thought it was the ish back in the day. I was like, yeah. Oh man. PS2, that console system was so good, and it was sexy. That PlayStation 2 was sexy because it had the little. I don't know. I felt like I was on top of the world when I got my PlayStation with the little. It had like these little diagonal lines. You know how it was shaped? It was really good. I have Final Fantasy 12 right for my PlayStation 2. I'm so mad that I can't play it on my PlayStation 3 because they have that stupid thing where it's not backwards compatible, so you can't play your PlayStation 2 games on the PlayStation 3. I'm so mad because the last Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 14, that Final Fantasy was trash. I bought the game. I played through it to 80%, and the characters were so bad. I didn't. I put it away. I had to. I gave it back to GameStop, and so after that happened, I really wanted to go back and play Final Fantasy 12. There were so many good things in Final Fantasy 12, especially the creatures that used to move around, and so I miss. And I still have my save slot. Your card. I have a yellow one. I have a cool little yellow one, and it's useless to me now. It's so sad. I'm really sad about that. And yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good things about Gears of War. I'm not sure. Um, I don't think I've played besides maybe the Spider-Man and comic book games that I've played. That's the only ones that I've played that have been based off of a book that you know that I've played that is a game. I didn't know Metro. You played Metro 2033. I think I played Metro 2 back in the day. Yeah. So yeah, we're talking about the Game Boy a little bit. I don't know. It's so weird. I feel like they come out with the Game Boy like super quick. Like I bought a DS and not soon after there was like a 3DS. And I'm like, really? And so then I feel sad for people who just got a 3DS because literally in 2015, which is what 4 or 6, a couple months away. I don't know when in 2015, so I'm going to say 6 months from now. There's going to be a new 3DS, and certain games it's only going to work on there, so it's irrelevant. I have these cool little Japanese games for my DS, and they're really cool. I tried to sell them back because I was short on cash, I think, and I wanted to get Skyrim for the PlayStation 3, and you can't even find these games anymore. So I'm really happy. I have the Kirby, the Kirby game that is super rare, and then I have this game called At the End of the World or something like that. It's really rare too. And once in a blue moon, I need to put it in. I don't know. I think I've lost my affinity for handhelds unless it's my Pokemon game or something. So yeah, but that's it, you guys. We are winding down because it is 9 o'clock. I gotta get up tomorrow and not go to work because I don't start my new job until Monday. But I gotta get up and prepare and get my mind right. Actually, I also need to go and read The Hobbit because, like I said, I only have 2 more days to finish it because I want to mail it out on Saturday. But I could be BSing and it takes me 1 more week. We're supposed to have the book for 3 weeks max. I think I've had it for 1 week up to now, but I want to send it on. That's the whole thing. There are so many nice things in the margin of the books that people have written so far. It's amazing. So I can't wait to send The Hobbit on. I think it's supposed to be going to the small good books. I don't know. I'm spacing out on everyone's name tonight. I'm sorry. It's late, but I can't wait to send the book on and let it go forth and travel the world. That should be really fun. And so, yeah, you guys have a good night. And for those who watch this at a later time or at a later date, you have a good day. And I will catch you guys later. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out with me and stuff. Peace.